We're currently days before the new moon, and obviously with the new moon, we have a new frequency coming through. So there's again, I've been talking about this transition phase for like a while, us stepping into this like new cycle in life, like collectively. We're ending at an 80-year cycle on top of everything else. And then we're entering the age of Aquarius. So there's energetically, collectively, there's a lot of things happening spiritually. A lot of shifts on the table board of karmic exchange. I'll just put it there, simple terms. We won't get too heavy into like politics or anything ever. But you know what I mean. Like there's a lot of things changing within the world. Obviously, things are constantly changing, but there's some big shifts happening right now. And basically with this new year, like the if you're familiar with the 13-month calendar, like the new year is really going to start during spring when the days become longer, which we're already transitioning to right now. So this is the time to really get prepared for your manifestations. Get all of your, your schedule in order. Get yourself organized. Clean your space. Probably should have already been doing that, but clean your space. Maybe reorganize, shift things around so it makes a little bit more sense, or just gives you a refreshing breath of air. Just with the change. So you can have this fresh frequency for all of these opportunities that are going to be coming in. And even if you don't feel like necessarily like directed, you feel kind of like this hanged man in this, this position of like uncertainty, or like just not really knowing where we're going. That's okay. That's actually where we want to be, in this energy of flow, going with the flow, surrendering that control. Because that control aspect, I talk about it all the time, it actually provides way more anxiety than it does actually provide any form of progress within your life. So just take that and understand that, things things have to shift a certain way sometimes in order for us to really step out of our comfort zone and bring us into this idea of like, we don't have to be anything specific, we don't have to do anything specific, we can set a goal and just reach for the stars. 551, we could just reach for the stars, but whatever we do, we want to focus that energy so it's amplified within our manifestations, our intent, our intuition, our consciousness, our energy in its entirety will align with this timeline. But you have to provide that mental clarity, that mental stability, that mental space where you are in tune with wanting and receiving and creating better things for yourself. So that does take some work. It seems hard, and it's not actually as hard as it sounds. And it's also not as simple as it sounds either. You can't just be like, okay, I want this. Make it happen. You can, but you're going to hit a lot of bumps in the road. Either way, you're going to hit a lot of bumps in the road. It's actually part of the process. But the biggest thing here is to understand that you don't need to do anything a specific way, but having that level of like discernment, discipline, and in tune with your intuition and your surroundings and yourself, taking accountability, those sort of things that are actually like spiritual, not like the tarot cards, the journals, and all of these like external things. Everything spiritual is always going to be internal. It's always about shifting your mind. So in order to really start getting your actual life aligned, it doesn't have to be completely provided by mental clarity, but having your mental space in check and aligned and taken care of, that's what's actually going to shift you into a higher state of being, because you're allowing this idea that you don't have to be a victim of circumstance. You don't have to be stuck where you are. You don't have to this isn't everything. This isn't all. I can still do more. I just have to open my mind to that idea. So basically, allowing yourself the space to grow, the ability to grow, the idea that you are growing. Because sometimes that's that's actually very easy to forget. So, being very aware of that in itself can actually teach you a lot more about surrendering. So maybe even work on that idea that you don't have to be something specific, or have a label for everything in your life in order for things to make sense for you, and then things will start making actual sense for you. I know it's crazy. But the next card that we got here was the King of Wands. So, really stepping into this energy of being this leader, this visionary leader who knows what they want to lay down, who knows what they want to lay down, and then it's not like you have like this straightforward plan of what you're gonna do, but it comes to you with ease because you are yourself aligned with that idea that you are this, this visionary creative leader. And so with that passion and with that energy, it actually kind of like amplifies you, and it tunes you into that frequency. So all of that knowledge, all of that wisdom just comes to you. I know that that sounds a little bizarre to think about, but conceptually it makes sense. If you understand energy, the way things emit frequency, the way we I guess what am I trying to say? Respond towards other people's energy. That is like the less spiritual way to understand that type of frequency. It's 555, by the way. But yeah, just knowing that in itself allows you to understand how to really be a master manifester and master a practice. So if you're wanting to start somewhere now, because then all the things will come to you naturally with the more surrendering and the more discernment, the more questioning you allow in, the more concepts you allow to explore, those things will come to you, and it will be very natural and free flowing. So that's why we also got the Hangman first. And then I think, yeah, so we got this next card was the Three of Swords. So it feels like we may have felt like a lot of this like mental pain, and there may be some things kind of like holding us back with whatever it is, if it's like depression or grief, or just not having exactly the life that you're wanting to have like right now. Like, it is okay to not be okay with where you are. That is okay. Um, but don't let that thought, that idea of sorrow and like the victim mindset consume you and make you feel complacent or stuck somewhere. Because you're not. Again, when you tune into this frequency that you can experience more, and you can receive more in life, and you understand on it in a true like inner depth layer what that means, that you can like evolve and turn into something more, or not even just evolving and turning into something more, just allowing more abundance into your life. And that's not even just like monetary abundance, that's like good luck, being fed good meals by like strangers, things like that, that seem completely bizarre and not real. Like, those things do and can happen. And that's where a lot of abundance will come through too at the same time. So take notice to that too. Like, when you meet a stranger and you have this certain type of conversation, you almost get like this hint or this like hunch of deja vu. Like, why does this kind of feel familiar? Or why does this remind me of something? You know what? Because you manifested something and maybe you forgot about it, and it came through a person's charity. Like, literally, that's how it happens most of the time too. So all of this energy is coming from somewhere in the universe, and you're never going to know exactly where. And so in surrendering that control and just allowing it to come to you without trying to figure out where you need to be in order to get it, it's like when you let go of all the work, all the hard work, I should say, and the, you know, the attachment. When you detach yourself, and I have a video about this, when you detach yourself from your manifestations, they will come through so fast. I'm just saying, that's just your perspective. And then we have the Six of Swords here, so I've actually pulled this card. Thinking about that one. I said pull a cord. I don't know. We'll see what that means. Anyway, but this card is the Six of Swords, and so I have pulled this card quite a bit recently. It's so hard to figure out how to get this camera to focus. I'm sorry. But there's two butterflies flying here. If you'd ever be able to see them, I got a new phone. Sorry. So, but anyway, so they're crossing this bridge, basically. That is you and this person, or you and your higher self, even crossing this bridge into this next chapter. So, like, whether it be a door that you envision, a bridge, whatever it is, like, you're crossing into this new chapter of your life. And because we've already let go of a lot of things in our old cycles, and so in doing so, it feels like almost like, I won't even say like depressing or anything. It just feels honestly awfully boring. But really, when you start getting in tune with what you want to do, you won't be so bored anymore. So if you do feel that little bit of stagnancy in between like these shifts, like, just tap into your creativity and do some things that you need to be doing as far as like creative wise, whether you're like into like photography, making art, singing, just making videos, whatever it is, just do some silly things and allow yourself that freedom. And then you'll come back in tune with yourself, because the moon is here for us to be in alignment anyway. Like, I don't know about you, but I have seen myself falling out of the moon cycles, because me myself, I actually stay pretty in tune with like the full moon or the new moon. Sometimes it changes. Like, my menstrual cycle will actually be in tune with the new moon. Sorry guys for all y'all sensitive folk. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, so like literally it will come in tune with the moon cycles. But like for a while I was actually out of spiritual alignment, and for like a while I was not in tune with the moon cycles. I didn't even know what day of the week it was sometimes. I was in a low point. Anyway, but the thing is I was completely out of alignment with the moon, and then I came back. I started meditating more. I started getting back on top of my journaling and shadow work and all of my meditations, rituals, making moon water, charging my crystals. I got back in tune. Like, again, I've said this before, those are not just all the things that you need to do to be spiritual and come back into alignment, but they just help. But the thing is when I started doing those things again and started taking care of myself again and started prioritizing my mental space again, then I started becoming in tune with the moon again. So again, I am in tune with the moon cycles. So if you understand that awareness, that level of intuition and awareness, the moon will like literally guide you. It has a lot of stuff to teach you about yourself. The moon is a mirror. It is not some rock in the sky. It is literally a mirror of ourselves. The light reflects from Earth onto the moon. It creates a shadow. Light, shadow, both exist in our reflections and in the moon. And if you just did all of these comparisons of metaphors and the 13-month calendar and the 13 cycles and all of these things, you would understand so much more about the moon. I'm just saying, the moon in itself is a goddess. And with that being said, let's tap into our moon mantra deck, our moon mantra oracle deck, and we'll just pull one oracle card just to get an overall idea of what the moon message has, since the moon has been the freaking card of the week, of the month. I have been pulling the moon card since that last full moon, first full moon in January, the end of January. I've been pulling full moon cards like back to back. Or not full moon, it's just the moon card. So the moon is a special gal. Let's see what we got here. So Sacredness is held within the mundane moments, within the ability to advocate for and support myself. It's held in the moments of clarity, rest, saying no, and saying yes. It is in the courage to choose me, and the radical knowing that I have always been wholly divine. So, understanding your divinity is really the key here. Because the moon, the moon's not going to tell you, the moon is going to show you your divinity. It is literally going to show you in some obnoxious ways sometimes. Just saying. But it will bring you into this alignment too. So if you feel kind of like out of place or kind of like again stuck in that phase of like stagnancy or not really in tune with like creativity, like just hop into the moon. Go stare at the moon like for a few hours. Like maybe not even like, a few hours at a time, but like consistently each night. Stare at the moon for like 10 to 30 minutes, whatever you choose. Just stare at the moon, stay under the moon. You don't have to like literally stare at the moon the whole time, but be under the moon. And like, you know how we sunbathe? Moonbathe. I promise you, it'll teach you a lot about self-reflection. And with that being said, I'm going to end it here. If you guys do want a private reading, you can check the link in my bio and you can book your own private reading. And then other than that, we are going to tap into some more shadow work tomorrow. Okay, love you guys. Bye.